Hello and welcome to Scots United, where I, Scott, and my team of Scots, who are usually always me, bring you the latest in movies, television, and popular culture. Now, we've been covering a lot of TV lately, and that's not changing tonight. We haven't really taken a moment to look back and say, hey, you know what, this ended really well. So I thought I would briefly do that to start us out. What We Do in the Shadows. It's the vampire show on FX, based off the indie movie from New Zealand. And honestly, I felt like it needed to find its groove in the couple first episodes, and then it just soared up, and it was just fantastic. Super funny, and I'm officially in love with the actor that plays Nandor. Yeah, so watch it. It's a lot of fun. Rami. I mentioned that last week, I think. Muslims in America. Rami Youssef, a stand-up comedian. It's kind of his show he created. You know, as that show goes on, they talk, you know, they devote an episode to his mother, to his sister. It gets more rich and deeper, more about family and like what you kind of want out of life, and just tears by the end. It was really, and it reminded me that, you know, I feel like this year especially, sometimes the best shows are comedies with that dramatic edge, which this is one. So check out Rami, that is on Hulu. I also mentioned Fleabag. Super excellent, even better than the first season. Season 2 ended beautifully. That's always one on your list. Season 1, Season 2, watch them both. It's quick. You won't regret it. Catch-22. You know, I kind of made light of like the hunky guys and, you know, how they were all attractive and they're like showering and stuff when I first mentioned it. But once again, even though it still dips into humor and dips into the absurdity of war and characterization, it also found a really deep emotional place by the end. Again, tears, really, really well done. And Christopher Abbott, I think, really deserves some accolades for his performance. Fosse Verdon, amazing, continues to be amazing. It's still, just in my mind, a triumph of so many things coming together in the right way. And if you haven't watched Dead to Me yet on Netflix, watch Dead to Me with Christina Applegate, because it's also another weird little fusion of many things, but fantastic. And now, let's talk about some things that maybe didn't go quite as well as I had hoped. And one is sort of a throwback that's about to restart its second season that I finally caught up with. So let's go to Scott and hear about that. So Scott, I finally caught up on season 1 of Pose, and I have thoughts. Okay, go. So Billy Porter has been getting, I'd say, the most press from the show. And it's just justified. I mean, he is a star. I think his character is the most complex. I think he brings a lot to the show, and I like his character. Plus, there's some truth and perspective for the time, I think, with him. You know, this is the late 80s. It's the ballroom scene in New York. The AIDS crisis is rampaging still. And I like that about the show. But the rest of it I have problems with. Problems? So the show is very much inspired by Paris is Burning, which is the documentary about that time period and the ballroom scene. And, you know, it was very honest about homeless kids and teens, HIV infection, and the rough life that trans women especially were going through. You know, one character in the documentary turned up dead. And I feel like Pose as a show is a little too bright-eyed and a little too nice. Too nice? So, like, not edgy, not gritty enough? You know, there is still awful, terrible violence being committed against trans women right now. And I can't think of one time in the first season when really there was a real threat of violence. I mean, some hints, but nothing genuine. Yeah, that doesn't seem historically accurate. More than one character dances at like a sex shop. One of them is hooking, and she never really seems to encounter a threat from that, and she even has sort of a Pretty Woman situation arise with another main character. Even like one of the main characters is a dancer, and like, you know, he wants to apply to the dance school, but he doesn't want to. But then his house mother makes him. And even though the deadline's passed, they accept his application. And of course, they still have a full scholarship for him because everyone always had to, you know, every art school has just scholarships laying around even past due dates. Fine, whatever. Suspension of disbelief, moving on. But then, he goes on and he's like so good and he's fine in what they show him that he can do dance-wise, but it's like, then he wants to be in the showcase, but it's only for second years. But he says he's as good as them, he's better, and his dance teacher agrees and lets him do it. And then, later he and his boyfriend, they audition for this dance, job with this, singing artist, and they both get it. And it's like, wow, I didn't realize, making it in New York was so easy. This is like, the 80s in New York and the trans community. Like, it should be a little less glitzy, a little bit rougher, and a little bit more real. From my perspective, having seen, Paris is Burning and being aware of the AIDS crisis in the 80s and what it was like to a degree. However, it is revolutionary for the number of trans performers it shows, it uses, the world it depicts, and there's a lot of heart there that still keeps it charming enough that I did find it enjoyable. So will I watch season 2? Yeah, I think I will probably check it out. But maybe it'll be like Sabrina. Very different show, but I found it charming enough to get through season 1, and then I started season 2, and I was just like, no, I just really cannot watch this. Pose is totally different, but it's also a Ryan Murphy show, and maybe this will be like Glee, where I'll just be like, this is just getting stupider and stupider, and I just can't. And, so we'll see.
Maybe it'll surge and really find its footing in season 2. Now, one show that I think didn't find its footing was Killing Eve. Sorry. Loved first season, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge captained that ship, and season 1 just found those interesting levels. I thought season 2 was laboring to get started, couldn't really find its way, had trouble navigating sort of the humor along with the violence of the show. That is a hard, line to walk, and ended okay. So, RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, Scotch United has been a fan and a friend of Drag Race for years. We officially got on board and really watched it all the way through, starting with season 3, the Raja season. Generally speaking, we have predicted the winner fairly accurately and really, I think, seen what it takes to get RuPaul to say, you are, America's next drag superstar. And hey, I was thrilled. Evie Oddly, great. Love her, loved her message, loved really everything about her, and was thrilled that she won. However, this season, just sort of stale in places, a little contrived in places, just sort of overproduced. You could see sort of the wheels behind the scenes trying to decide things and change things, and you felt it. It was season 11. It's getting a little long in the tooth. I want it to continue to be a fresh and fun show. To wrap up, just wanted to also give a quick preview of some of the shows that we're looking forward to starting now in the summer season, so you can know what's coming up. Margo, you excited for the summer? Yes, but the summer means American Ninja Warrior. That's right, yes. Very soon, Black Mirror, only 3 episodes, but always interesting to see where Black Mirror goes when it comes back. Handmaid's Tale, also very soon, and that is definitely something we'll be getting into after watching the first 2 seasons. Big Little Lies coming back to HBO in a little over a week. Pose, again, we will see as season 2 begins how that goes. Stranger Things, July 4th, season 3 or part 3 of Stranger Things. Veronica Mars, big favorite of ours. Saw the series, saw the movie, looking forward to seeing what they do on Hulu, coming up in the end of July. And then the Dark Crystal prequels coming to Netflix the end of August. That's a ways off. So, those are a few titles that you can look forward to. And if there's something you would like Scotch United to review, to check out, let us know. Maybe you could even do a segment for us and contribute in the future to a future episode. We would love that. So think about it and have a great week.